All right, guys, I want to show you how to set up your teeth impressions for the lab that you're going to be doing today. So you're going to need a styrofoam plate. Please let's try to decide which method that I'm going to show you that you're going to use so that we can use as few of these as possible. Styrofoam takes a very long time to biodegrade, so these things are going to be around forever. Let's be cautious of how much materials we use today. So you'll notice that on my styrofoam plate, I've labeled it in two places. One at the top says maxilla with my last name, and one place at the bottom which says mandible and has my last name. So I'm just going to take this pair of scissors and I'm going to cut a slit on either side so that I can easily fold my plate back. Okay, so I just cut a little slit over here and a little slit over here, and that's going to let me fold my plate back really easily so that now I have a form to make my teeth impressions. So this is what I would consider the harder way, all right, but I'm going to show you this way first because this is the way that it has in the instructions. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to shove this folded plate as far back into your mouth as you can to get as much of your teeth impressions as possible. I'm not going to lie, it's a little uncomfortable, especially for people who have a really small mouth like I do. No funny jokes, by the way. But what you want to do is you want to bite down with enough force to really impress your teeth into the styrofoam, but not hard enough to break through the styrofoam. So here I go, shoving a plate into my mouth. Okay, so here's my teeth impressions, and I can already tell by looking at them, I don't think I got any of my molars in this impression. So I want to show you a second way that you could do your teeth impressions that hopefully you'll find works a little bit better. So I have a second plate, again, same labels, maxilla, mandible, and I'm going to cut the slits into my plate just like I did last time on either side. This makes it really easy to just fold your plate back, okay, in half. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut a wedge into this plate that is just thick enough that I think I can shove into my mouth, right? I don't want to get it too thin because I don't want to miss out on some of my impressions. So I'm going to make it as thick as I think I can push. Okay, and if you mess up, it's okay. You can grab another plate. Let's just be mindful. So you'll end up with a wedge that looks more like this, okay? So I cut off the sides to end up with this wedge. And now this wedge, again, making sure that maxilla is on top, mandible is on bottom, you can shove and really try to get it all the way to the back so that you get your molar impressions onto your plate. Much better. So here you can see that my impression is much, much larger because now I've managed to get my molar impressions on here. So I'm going to pause it for just a moment and get set up over here so that I can show you how we're going to transfer our impressions from our styrofoam plate onto a transparency film. All right, so here I have my styrofoam impression that I just made, okay? And you have this piece of transparency overlay. So it comes with a nice little backing that you can keep with your overlay. I like to put a little staple up here in the top left corner just so that, and then you can easily sort of peel that overlay back and use it for your comparisons, okay? But you're just gonna place this overlay on top of your impressions, and sorry, I'm getting a little bit of a glare from the lights overhead. And then you'll take a Sharpie marker, and what you want to do is you want to fill in all of the tooth impressions that you got. So wherever you see an impressive mark, you really want to fill that all the way in. So sometimes it can be a little challenging to see where those marks are, but just kind of keep following along. Okay, so every place that I see an impression, I'm gonna try to get the majority of that impression indicated in my overlay. This one looks like it comes over a little bit further. All right, so I'm just going to show you my maxilla impressions. All right, and I would want to hold this steady while I'm getting my mandible impressions as well. So even if you take a break from it, this top portion is my maxilla. So I'm going to go ahead and label that. Okay, and then I'm going to want to do the same thing down here for my mandible impressions. So again, filling them in wherever you see those indentations. And it looks like I have little sort of secondary impressions in part of my overall impression. All right, so then this would be my teeth impressions. So I would want to keep this, and again, keep that backing that comes along with your transparency film. So when you guys are using the candy pieces, you're going to be doing something similar. So you're going to take your paper plate, and for each of the different types of candy that I've left for you, you're going to place some part of your impressions. Maybe you want to do the right side, just the right side of your mouth. Perhaps you want to do just the front part of your mouth, but you're going to leave those pieces of candy with your impressions on your paper plate, and then you're also going to leave this transparency with the backing behind it at your table. And what you guys are going to be doing is rotating from table to table and try to match up an individual's impression, their transparency, with one of the plates at the station. So we're sort of going to mix things up and see if we can identify people based off of their teeth impressions. Oh, don't forget to label your mandible. Okay. All right. Good luck.